Hello everyone, Jeremy here, and today I want to show you around the new PlayStation 4 firmware update version 1.70. This was a very highly anticipated update that was released on April 30th. Very early in the morning on April 30th, there are quite a few things in this update that I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy. So if you're waiting for this update, just curious about what's the big deal, well, I hope to show you that today. So, a lot of things with this update aren't necessarily big visual things, you know. They aren't things that really pop out at you like crazy themes or fancy transitions. It's not an overhaul of the main menu or anything like that. It's just little building blocks that Sony has put into the PlayStation 4 to just make it a more enjoyable machine from a sharing perspective and just like from an overall how it feels perspective. One of the first things I noticed when I first started this update was that this main menu seemed to have come up faster. It just seemed like it was a little bit snappier. I know that could seem like a placebo effect because it happens to be a new update, but I really do feel that things did get a little bit faster. So let me show you some things that I noticed changed right off the bat. We have a capture gallery now that's kind of front and center right here on the I want to call it the cross media bar, but I really don't know if they still call it that now. But the capture gallery is basically, it's a shortcut now to all of the screenshots and videos that you may have already recorded or the PlayStation has recorded all by itself while you've been playing games. So instead, in the past, we had to go up to our profile, and then from the profile, we had to go to the capture gallery. Just a few more steps that weren't really that necessary to do. So now we can just access it straight up right from here. And if you want to share some of the videos that you have recorded or some of the screenshots that you have recorded, we can still do that. However, if I were to go to, let's just say, Infamous Second Son, and I'm going to go to screenshots, and let's just say I wanted to share this screenshot here that I did. I can go into the share menu. I can go to upload screenshot, and I can say, hey, I want to upload it to Facebook. And now I have the option of selecting from right here who I want to see this on my Facebook. If I want it to be completely public, if I want only my friends to have it, only me, or any other groups that I may have created or you may have created, you can choose who you want to share those with. I have it on only me because I'm pretty sure none of my friends wants to see screenshots from Infamous Second Son on Facebook, but that is something that I do so that I can at least download the screenshot from Facebook, and it'll be at a higher quality than it would be if you just downloaded it from Twitter. Are there ways to get higher resolution screenshots? Yes, but not going to go into that just now. So that's one thing that you can do. Let me go here. And then just basically, as we move across, we see that there's a new app called Share Factory. Now, I'm going to go more in depth into Share Factory in another video. But what Share Factory is a new video editing application that is far more robust than the video editing options we had at the very beginning. So you can just take clips that you have and you can put them together, and you can have transitions, you can have different effects and all this stuff. For example, you could choose very first thing that you can do is you can choose a theme. If you want to choose a theme, let's say I wanted my theme to just be the PlayStation 4 theme. And then now I have to choose my clips. I say, all right, I'm going to choose my clips. Let's just say I'm going to choose this one from Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn, so there's a number 1 by it. And then let's say I wanted to do another one from Infamous Second Son, which was like right here. So then I select those two, And then from there, I press square to start the project. I just continue it. And then there are these, then I can just edit it from here. This is the standard intro. This is what things are going to look like once I start the video. It says, who made it? Hey, that's me. It's PlayStation. And then it starts going into the clips that we have. And you can scroll through the clips and you just pick out things that you want. And then you can split them. Like I could pause this right now. And then I could add a clip. I can add a commentary. I can add music. Or I can press square. And I can trim it, I can split it, I can do all these kind of things to just create a movie. But I'm not going to create a movie right now. Like I said, we'll just go more in depth with Share Factory in another video, and we'll put something together. Okay, now one of the other things that was very, 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 very important, I can't stress that enough, and the reason why you can even see this right now, is the option to turn off high definition copy protection. That is HDCP. And what that does is that allows us to record directly from the PlayStation 4 via HDMI. And we can do that by going to, let's see, what's that option that we can go to? We go down to the system option. And then right here, by default, enable HDCP is enabled, but you can turn it off. And then if you have a device such as Elgato Game Capture HD, you can hook that up to your PlayStation 4, hook it up to your computer, and then you can just capture video game footage, 1080p, 30 frames per second. And there's no fancy workarounds. You don't have to get any kind of a box to strip off the copy protection. It is built in. However, when you have HDCP enabled, you cannot look at, let's say, things like Netflix. So if I go to my video options and I try to go to Netflix, see what happens? It says, cannot start the application. You must turn on settings, system, and enable HDCP. And that prevents people from just going to Netflix and using their capture software to basically just record movies and all that stuff. So if you want to look at any of your video applications, you have to make sure that that is turned off. Another option that we have here is for the DualShock 4 controller. So we'll go back into settings and we go to devices and we go to controllers. And there is an option here for the brightness of the DualShock 4 light bar. We can keep it at its standard brightness, or we can bring it down to medium, or we can bring it down to dim. Now, to be fair, as I look at this, when there's actually light in the room, it doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of difference as far as illumination goes. But we'll see what happens later on at night. But I would imagine if you're in a dark, dark room, this light can get pretty bright. So just the ability to dim it will make it less annoying. And it should help maybe a little bit with battery life. It's not a huge, it's not like it's a huge dimming of the light, but it is there, and that is a good thing. Another thing that we can do is you can set a, well, this is kind of misleading. Sony calls it a screensaver, this option here under sound and screen. But really, all that it does is it just dims the screen. To my knowledge, you cannot, oh, this is another thing here. You cannot select your own picture to have as a screensaver. It just basically dims the screen. And what you just saw there, someone on my friends list just joined a party. By default, the notification to see that is on by default. So you don't get notifications when people log into PSN, but you do get notifications when they join parties, which seems kind of backwards to me, but you know, that is still something that you can do. So let's go back to the capture gallery. Well, no, not the capture gallery. Let's go back into the shared options, because this is something that was also kind of important. So by default, when the PlayStation 4 released, it always continuously recorded about 15 minutes of gameplay video for you, just in case you went back and you wanted to share them. But it never really seemed like it worked all that well. Sometimes it would record 15 minutes, sometimes it wouldn't. I really just could not determine the criteria for when it would do stuff the way I thought it would. But now we have the option to set how long we actually want that to go on. We can say we can have that to just 1 minute or all the way up to 15 minutes. So if you just want to sort of save some space and you don't want the PlayStation 4 to always be recording that much footage, you can just say, hey, bring it down to 5 minutes, bring it down to 1 minute, and you won't have to worry about doing that. There's also a easier way to take screenshots and take video. So if we go back to these shared settings now, if you don't have on your easy screenshot mode, from here, from the share menu, all you have to do is press triangle, and then you take a screenshot. Or if you were within a game, you would press square, and then that would start recording the video. Now, what about Twitch broadcasting? So let's say I wanted to broadcast to Twitch. I'm going to go back into the shared menu. And, well, you know what? I think we actually have to start a game. All right, so temporarily, let's just start a game. Let's start Trials Fusion. Because what you can do now through Twitch is you can increase the resolution that your stream is being broadcast in. So it's been increased to 720p HD. And then you do that, go into the share options, go into broadcast gameplay, going to Twitch, if that's where you want to stream. And then there is a new quality setting. So in the original, before it was best, high, medium, and low, but now we have best HD. So when you have that selected, you will be able to stream in 720p HD. And while we're here, another option is when you bring up the keyboard, there you go. 2 ways to speed up your text entry: through the touchpad or with the motion sensor. So the motion sensor has always been there. Pressing R3 and then just sort of moving the DualShock around, you know, it seems quite sensitive, you know. So we can just do up and down and side to side. I guess I'm not doing this right for them. Anyway, but one thing that you can do now is you can use the touchpad. You can use the touchpad to move the cursor around if you wanted to do that. Personally, I think it's just faster just to move around with the directional buttons or the analog stick. But if you wanted to, you can just move around with the touchpad and select your text that way. So those are streaming options. I wish that there was a way to preview the PlayStation 4 camera so that you can see where you are in the frame before you go live, so you won't have to keep messing with it. But there, to my knowledge, is still no preview for that. There are also some more voice controls for the PlayStation 4 camera for controlling the PlayStation 4 and going into the different apps and things like that. But they haven't said exactly what they are. So that's also something. So yeah, just a few more things that you can do. You can sort your trophies according to their rarity level, and you can do stuff such as, if you have the app, the PlayStation app, you can change your profile picture straight from the app. and you can look at screenshots that people may have posted on Facebook and Twitter straight from the app if they allowed you to do that. And that's pretty much it. One other thing is that when you are broadcasting, they have changed how the broadcasting looks, because now there's a right hand side panel that shows the chat and your face. So the chat is no longer on the bottom, it's on the left side, and at the bottom is just a little timer to tell you how long you've been streaming. I don't see the use in that, so I hope that they get rid of that bottom bar, but on the right side is very reminiscent of what the Xbox One does when it streams, and I think that worked out very well. So yeah, that's pretty much the major features of this update that I can show you. What you can also do is you can take a USB a USB thumb drive or whatever, plug it into the PS4, and then you can take your screenshots and your video from the PlayStation 4, put it on your USB drive, and then you can just plug it into your computer and share stuff that way. That can be a way for you to get even better quality video and better quality screenshots, as opposed to uploading them to social media and then taking them from there. You can just pull it directly from the console, and it will give you a much better quality, better quality content from there. So yeah, that's it. Like I said, there's really nothing big visually, but turning off high definition copy protection is very, very cool. I'm glad that we are able to do that now, and being able to share things through USB. And then of course the share factory, which I will get to in another video, because I think that this has the potential to be something quite cool as well, especially if they keep updating it. So that's all for this update. I'll be back with the share factory video sometime in the future, and until next time, I'm Jeremy, and I will talk to you later.